Welcome to the Elk Grove Unified School District Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Nashira, and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/elk-grove. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, Southern Oregon University.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started. All right, so my name is Courtney Weaver and I'm an admissions counselor at Southern Oregon University. I'm excited to chat with you all today about SOU, so thank you for spending the evening with us. So SOU is located in Southern Oregon, not surprisingly, specifically Ashland, Oregon, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But just to give you some idea of some numbers from our campus, we have a total enrollment right now of 4,900 students. So we're a mid-sized liberal arts public institution. We have a 19-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And so what that means is that you're going to have small class sizes at SOU. You're really going to get to know your faculty. They're going to get to know you. And you're going to be able to build relationships with them that'll pay off in lots of ways, both academically while you're a student at SOU, and then afterwards when it comes to graduation and you're looking for jobs or internships and things like that. We have a beautiful 175-acre campus that's sprawled out in the hillside in Ashland. It essentially looks like a park. Our campus is beautiful. There's lots of plants and flowers and trees. So absolutely gorgeous campus, just 15-minute walk from downtown. And then our average admitted GPA is a 3.3. And as of right now, we have 40 majors, but we also have hundreds of possible areas of study. So lots of different things you can study within those majors. We have 4 brand new residence halls, and we also have apartments and family housing on our campus. In addition, we have 13 NAIA varsity men's and women's athletic teams. And so these include sports such as football, soccer, basketball, track, cross country, wrestling, softball, volleyball. So lots of athletic opportunities on our campus, which is great. We're really proud of our women's softball team. They were national champs in 2021, so go Raiders. And then we also offer, of course, intramural and club sports as well. So some of our club sports include rowing, lacrosse, rugby, and then of course we have intramural sports for all kinds of different sports like basketball and volleyball. And then as far as clubs and orgs are concerned, we have over 100 clubs and organizations on our campus. So lots of things to get involved with. We have Black Student Union, Latino Student Union, a French and German club, film and acting. So just lots of organizations that our students are able to engage with. Now, diving into a little bit more about Ashland and kind of where we're located, you can see on the map there that we're located just above the Northern California border. So we're 14 miles outside of California. So to get to Sacramento, it takes about 5 hours or so. So that's a really good little distance. It's not too far, but not too close at the same time. Ashland itself has approximately 25,000 residents, so it's what you would call a smaller town, but there's lots of cute shops, cafes, restaurants, one-of-a-kind, unique places in Ashland. So Ashland is definitely unique. But if you're looking for kind of, the creature comforts of home or, a larger metro area, Ashland is also part of the larger Rogue Valley. So the Rogue Valley has about 215,000 residents. And so we have in Medford, there's a Target, there's an In-N-Out, there's an international airport, which you can see all the flights that fly out of our international airport there to the West Coast cities. So anything you might need is in the Rogue Valley area. Ashland is home to the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and so we're very well known for that. So it's a 9-month-long theater festival that takes place in our town. It's home to beautiful Lithia Park. And like I said before, we're about 4.5 or 5 hours, I'd say 5 hours to Sacramento or Portland. As far as things to do outdoors, there's anything you could want to do either on our campus or just steps away from our campus, whether that's hiking, biking, camping, skiing, canoeing, any of those things you can do in the Rogue Valley, which is awesome. We also have our outdoor adventure program where you can rent any kind of equipment that you might need. And then those folks also take whitewater rafting trips and hiking and backpacking trips. So any kind of trips you want to go on, you can do that too with our outdoor adventure program. As far as weather is concerned, we do have, kind of really mild climate, which is really nice. Summer high of 83, winter high of 50. As far as rainfall is concerned, students are always worried about, do you get a lot of rain? No, we really don't. So we get half as much rain as the Portland area, essentially. So you're not going to get too much rain. We have over 200 plus sunny days in Ashland, so lots of sunshine. But we do get all 4 seasons, which is nice. So we get a little bit of snow, some lovely fall weather, some cool fall weather, which is nice. And then I love this picture because you can see Mount Ashland at the top, which is where our students go skiing in the winter. As far as majors are concerned, we have lots of great programs. Some of our most popular programs include business administration, communication, criminal justice, also education, where you can get your degree and your licensure all within 4 years. We also have a great nursing program, a theater program, of course, due to the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. And then also psychology is another popular program. So lots of great programs. Happy to chat more about them if you want to send any questions. And then as far as housing is concerned, we do have 4 residence halls on our campus. You can see in the video there, that's Shasta and McLaughlin. Those are our 2 newest facilities, and that's where our first year students live. So first year students are required to live on campus for at least their first year at SOU. But beyond that, once you are out of your senior or out of your freshman year, you can live in our student apartments or our family housing as well. So student apartments go all the way up to 4-bedroom. Family housing goes all the way up to 4-bedroom. Family housing is great if you have a significant other or a partner or a child or somebody that needs to live with you. Of course, students are welcome to move off campus after their first year as well. Brand new dining hall with great made to order stations. Lots of other options for campus dining, including Starbucks, Einstein Bagels, The Landing, a bunch of other places to eat. And then our Student Rec Center, which you can see in the bottom 2 photos, is a brand new facility. Absolutely gorgeous, 44-foot rock wall, state-of-the-art equipment, a brand new gym and running track, a great facility for all of our athletes. And then as far as scholarships and things are concerned, or tuition is concerned, affordability, students coming from California automatically receive the WUI tuition rate. So you can see there that a full year of tuition and fees is right at $15,664. So again, that's for a full year of tuition and fees. And you'll get this automatic as long as you're a California resident and you are admitted to SOU. So there's no other requirements in order to receive the WUI. Additionally, we offer merit scholarships, which go all the way up to $3,500, honors college scholarships, and then various other scholarships depending on your department or athletics or anything like that. And then kind of wrapping up a little bit here, if you're interested in applying, our priority date is February 1st. So you can go to apply.sou.edu to submit your application. We are test optional. So really you just need to submit your application and send us your transcripts, and we'll be able to get you admitted within 2 or 3 weeks. And then if you're looking to visit campus, you can go to sou.edu/visit us, schedule a campus tour, come check out our preview day event that we're having in November. And of course, if you have any questions, just feel free to hit me up. I've got my info on there and I'll be sure to post it in the chat. But thank you all so much. And I will kick it back to our facilitator because my time is up.
Thank you, SOU. I would like to now ask Pacific University, Oregon to speak with us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I'm glad to be joining all of you in California. From up here in Oregon, you're going to get to hear a lot about the state today, and hopefully I get to share a little bit about Pacific University and kind of what we have to offer for you. Now, we're going to move a little bit further north. Pacific, we're a small private liberal arts university. We're located about 25 miles west of Portland. So we're just kind of down in Southern Oregon. We're just going to move up the I-5 corridor, almost up into Washington. It's an amazing area. We're really close to the Oregon coast, only about an hour drive from 3 different major beaches out there. You can be in downtown in about 30 minutes. You can be out to the airport in about an hour. So it's a really nice mix of being close to a lot of things, but being able to experience the Pacific Northwest and the beautiful coast range that you can see behind me, just a few minutes off our campus. But at the same time, being next to Portland and having places like Nike, Intel, Xerox, Columbia in the Silicon Forest. So our students have that amazing opportunity to do the business, and the internships and research is going to help further their career once they come to Pacific. But along with that, we also want you to get a top tier education. Now, we are a smaller private liberal arts education, so we have about 1,900 undergraduate students. But at Pacific, we don't have a separate honors college or separate application to individual majors because you're applying to Pacific, and we teach all of our 75 different majors, minors, and programs as if you're at an honors college level. So that means really intense interaction with the professors, being in the classrooms and talking to them on a daily basis. Our average class size is only 19 students. You don't sit in lecture halls of 200 or 300 people because that would be most of our incoming freshmen. And at Pacific, all of those classes are taught by professors. So you're not having TAs doing any teaching, but you're learning from the best, and they're going to know your name and they're going to call on you in class. But most importantly, we also want you in and out of Pacific in 4 years or less. We give all of our students a 4-year guarantee of an education in 4 years that you'll be in and out, and not having to do 5th years or 6 years or victory laps, but you get this really strong education for all of our different programs, but you can do it in 4 years while you're here. We also help with that by starting job shadowing, research, and internships your freshman and sophomore year, not waiting until you're a junior or senior. So as the top private research university in the Pacific Northwest, we're giving that opportunity not just to our well-known pre-health professions, pre-physical therapy, pre-optometry programs, but that we're also giving it to our nationally ranked creative writing, education, and business programs as well. So that all of our students, regardless of what you're going to study, start trying out their major that freshman and sophomore year. And even if you come in undecided, you still get that 4-year guarantee. But the idea is to try it out and figure out exactly what you're going to do and build that resume so that when you walk out of Pacific, you have the really strong education, but you also have the classes and the real life experience to back it up. And you can see from our placement ratings that you're going to do very well once you graduate from Pacific. But we also know our students need an outlet. So at Pacific, we encourage our students to be involved. In fact, our average graduating senior last year was involved in 4 clubs or sports that had nothing to do with what they're studying. We offer over 70 different clubs and organizations, 20 different performing arts groups for music, dance, and theater, which you do not have to major or minor in. And we also offer 24 varsity, 28 intramural, and 10 club sports at the NCAA Division III Northwest Conference level. So our students are going to be able to do all of those things that they loved in high school and want to keep doing, and not have to just pick 1 or 2, but be able to build on all of that while they're at Pacific. We're also home to the largest student-run luau anywhere in the mainland US. About 15% of our students come from the islands of Hawaii, so it gives our students an amazing opportunity to learn about a different culture. For you coming up from California to experience that large student-run luau, or join your friends on stage and dance in front of the thousands of people each year that come up to our event. We also want you to take that amazing opportunities that you're learning in the classroom to the real world outside of the classroom and solve problems. Because again, the whole idea is to teach you how to use this in the real world after you graduate. So while you're there, you're having all these amazing opportunities, you're in all these clubs, but then you're also being able to go out maybe into the Pacific Northwest with our outdoor pursuits and doing our outdoor leadership major or minor, or learning how to kayak on the Oregon coast or surf on the Oregon coast or summit Mount Hood every summer. Maybe that means study abroad for you. And we offer 27 sites in different countries around the world and 2 to 3 week travel classes. So all students have that opportunity, and giving back to our community. As one of the president's list of community service colleges, we're really proud that our students get back thousands of hours of community service, both here in Forest Grove, but also regionally and internationally in some of these travel abroad classes, like when they went to Romania 2 years ago and actually built Habitat for Humanity houses while they were also visiting Dracula's castle. And for all of this, we want our students to have the opportunity to come to Pacific and to be able to afford Pacific. So we offer scholarships to all students. There's no in-state or out-of-state tuition, no in-state or out-of-state scholarships, and it's the same application for applying to Pacific. You're going to apply for free through the common application, fill that out, and based on that, you're going to be receiving some academic merit scholarship, ranging from $15,000 to $27,000 per year for all 4 years guaranteed. And just so you know, at Pacific, we are test optional for both scholarship and for admission. So you can be admitted to Pacific and receive our highest merit scholarship without sending in test scores. But my rule of thumb is if you're proud of your test scores, send them along. It's a great piece to know more about you, but it's not going to be the only piece in deciding your application or your scholarship. Along with the academic merit scholarship, we do also offer scholarships in things like our special interest and talent awards, where you can earn scholarship for music, dance, theater, speech and debate, mathematics, robotics. There's over 20 of them. So you can take a look and add those to your academic merit. And for these scholarships, you don't need to major or minor. You just need to be involved in it. So if you just really like singing, but you want to also play on the football team and study early childhood education, you can actually do all of those things and earn scholarship for many of them while you're here. And as mentioned earlier, we'd love for you to come up and visit campus, but at Pacific, we realize right now it's a little bit more difficult. So we offer a senior preview scholarship day, where every Friday and a couple of Saturdays now through the end of the year, you can actually hop online or come up to campus in person. You get to meet with an admissions counselor, you get to talk to current staff and faculty, and you earn an additional $1,000 a year scholarship for participating. So it's a great way to learn more about the school, get more info than we were able to tell you in 7 minutes, but also be able to get a little bit of scholarship while you're doing it. And then at Pacific, you do have your own admissions counselor. So Chandler Patterson will be your admissions counselor here at Pacific. I will put her contact information up as well, or you can feel free to take a screenshot of this little QR code. It'll take you right to her information, but she'll be the one on the other end talking to you, answering questions, and reading your application. So I highly recommend reaching out, and you can always say, hey, Derek said this, and then she's glad to answer those questions as well. But thank you all for taking a little bit of your evening to learn a little bit about Pacific, and I look forward to hearing from you more in the future.
Great, thank you so much. We will now have Western Oregon University speak with us.
Okay, aloha everybody. My name is Nolan Arasato. My pronouns are he, she, his, hers, and I am the Hawaii admissions counselor here at Western Oregon University. So let's get started. So Western Oregon, where is Western? So obviously we're on the west side of Oregon, okay? We are located in Monmouth, Oregon, which is 15 miles west of Salem. It's about maybe a 20-minute drive from our state capital. We're about maybe an hour and a half south of Portland, an hour north of Eugene. We're about maybe 3 hours from Bend, which is Central Oregon, and maybe about an hour and a half from the coast. So we're pretty central to the northwest side of the state. Just some general information about Western. We are a 4-year public university. Again, we're located in Monmouth, Oregon, just 20 minutes from our state capital. Our undergraduate population here is about 4,500 undergraduates. So you're looking at anywhere, probably about 19 will be your average class size here at Western. So you folks are seeing probably very similar class sizes to what you folks see in your current schools in California. In our freshman class, 46% of that freshman class will be considered first generation college students. And then of the entire student body, about 29% of our student body identifies as people of color. So you're seeing lots of diverse students there at Western. Any student that is submitting a FAFSA to Western Oregon University will receive some sort of financial assistance. So we just want to make sure we're helping everyone out no matter what your financial aid package is. And our 6 most popular majors is going to be American Sign Language, English Interpreting, Business, Criminal Justice, Education, Exercise Science, and Psychology. And I'll get into a little bit more of the majors later on in the presentation. So our admissions requirements, we definitely did bring down our cumulative GPA. So instead of it being a 3.0, all we're looking for is a 2.75. If you have a 2.75 or above, you have a C- or better in our 15 core classes that we're asking for, which is our 4 years of English, 3 years of math, science, and social sciences, and then 2 years of a second language. Congratulations, you folks are getting into Western. Okay, we're just gonna make sure you folks have your counselors or registrar's office send us your official transcripts. And then as you can see on the screen, our application is free 99. So nobody needs to pay nothing at Western for their application, okay, which is really, really great here, especially for students that's been really hit hard during this pandemic time. And so we're just trying to help everyone out as much as we can. If you folks do not fall above that 2.75 GPA, that is totally okay. All we're going to need from you folks is a personal statement and maybe even a letter of recommendation or two might also help your folks' chances of getting in. So on our screen right now is looking at our tuition rates. So obviously you folks are not in-state students, so you folks will not look at the residents of Oregon, but if you folks look at that non-resident tuition, that is going to be $29,000, so almost 30 grand, okay? But that is for our out-of-state students. We are a WUI tuition school. So for you California students, you folks are all considered WUI students. And so you folks will be getting this WUI discount, which is roughly half off of your out-of-state tuition. So our WUI tuition is about 14 grand. And then we do require all freshmen to live on campus their first year. So you will tack on that extra 10 grand for your first year. So your full first year, you're looking at anywhere between 25 to 27,000, I'd say, for your full first year. But even then, if you look at that total cost for your WUI tuition with the room and board, it's still cheaper than your full out-of-state tuition. So you're getting a really, really big discount here at Western. So for our scholarships, we do have 3 different scholarships that California students are eligible for. The first one is going to be our presidential scholarship. We have 3 different levels. Each level gives you that dollar amount per year for 4 years. So if you multiply it by 4, that's going to be your full amount that you could get from our scholarships. So for Dean's level, if you have a 3.6 or above, then you're going to get $1,000 per year for 4 years. So that's $4,000. For the provost and presidential, you need those GPAs. So a 3.6 to a 3.94 will get you the provost, which is $2,000 per year. So $8,000 for 4 years. And then the full presidential is a 3.95 to a 4.0. That'll give you $5,000 per year. And over 4 years, that's a $20,000 scholarship. Those are automatic. The provost and presidential, the only extra thing you have to do is make sure you're filling out our general scholarship fund. And then for our diversity commitment, if you say that you are a student that is diverse, then you can definitely qualify and fill out this application. And so it's just going to be an essay, and this can give you up to $6,000 per year for 4 years. So this is a $24,000 scholarship. So all of these scholarships are basically, I always tell my students, think of it as they're all part of the same bank account. So you folks, we cap all of our merit-based scholarships at $6,000. So the presidential scholarship, because that is the automatic one, that will get put in first, and your diversity commitment or your general scholarship fund, that one will get adjusted. So make sure if you do get more money, it can put you all the way up to at least getting that $6,000 for the cap. Okay, so again, I just want to make it clear for our merit-based scholarships, we do cap these scholarships at $6,000, but that's not including the financial aid or the WUI tuition. You're still allowed to stack all of those with your WUI tuition. And then some of our major and minor programs, I put the Thunderbolt next to all of our top 6, but I'm just going to highlight just our top 2 for you folks today. The first one is our education major. So before we were called Western Oregon University, we used to be called Oregon College of Education. And education used to be the only major we used to have. And so we still have a really, really good teacher program here. And then our American Sign Language program, we are actually the only school in the state of Oregon with a 4-year bachelor's degree in American Sign Language. We have ASL Studies and ASL English Interpreting. And so if you folks want to do anything or dabble or get a bachelor's degree in American Sign Language, Western is a great place to come to. And then if any of you folks are interested in any of our pre-professional programs, we do have a few. One of them that I always like to highlight is our pre-nursing degree. So a lot of our students like to take that route. So if you folks are looking to become a nurse, you folks can get your prerequisites here at Western. And then again, we do require all freshmen to live on campus. So you will tack on the extra $10,000 with your tuition. We have co-ed and non-co-ed dorms, and then we also have a microwave and a mini fridge in every single dorm room. So you folks don't have to worry about that when you folks get here. And again, my name is Nolan Arasato. Thank you so much for coming out today and listening to my presentation. If you folks have any questions, definitely reach out to me.
Right, thank you so much. We'll have Oregon State University next.
All right, hello everybody. Give me one moment while I get this up and shared. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Kelly and I am the Northern California Regional Admissions Advisor for Oregon State. So I'm located just up in Roseville, not too far away from you all. If you're not familiar with Oregon State, we are located in the town of Corvallis, which you can see is about 90 miles south and about sorry, my daughter is crying in the background. I really apologize for that. But sorry, y'all, give me one moment here. We're located in the town of Corvallis, and we are about 90 miles south of Portland, about 30 minutes away from the coast, and about an hour or so away from the Cascade Mountain Range. So we're in a great location that has everything that a beautiful Pacific Northwest has to offer. And Corvallis itself is located in, or Oregon State is located in a really cool little college town. We're a quintessential college town. About 60,000 or so year-round residents live in Corvallis. And the community itself of Oregon State has about 33,000 total students. About 26,000 of those are undergraduate. So we are the largest sorry, we are the largest university in the state of Oregon. And then Corvallis itself is also consistently ranked as being one of the top college towns. So it's just a really great place to live and learn for those 4 years that you are in college. Now, turning to academics, we have over 200 academic programs throughout 9 undergraduate colleges. We are very well known for programs in the STEM fields, engineering, specifically ocean sciences, earth sciences, health sciences, just to name a few. But we are not just a STEM school. We have programs in education and liberal arts and business. So just really, really great programs throughout. We have 0 impacted majors. Regardless of which major you're coming into, you can get in, you can get out in 4 years, and you have a lot of flexibility within the programs. We also have something called exploratory studies. So if you are a student who maybe are a little bit unsure of what you want to major in, you can always come in through exploratory studies, work with your academic advisor. They have just a slew of different resources and tests to kind of help you hone in and figure out what it is really that you're able to, what you're interested in and want to major in. So you can always come in like that. You can change into exploratory studies if you want to down the road as well, if you're still unsure what you want to major in. And as long as you're selecting a major within your first 2 years, there's really no reason you can't graduate within 4 years. We also have a degree granting honors college. So if you are a high achieving student, then you do have the opportunity to apply to the honors college. It is a separate application embedded into the application for admissions, and you would get a chance then to get your honors baccalaureate degree if you would like to. Okay, here we go. We do employ a holistic approach to our admissions review. We're going to be looking at the entirety of your application that you submit. Mainly what we're going to be looking at is your academic history. So rigor of curriculum, strength of curriculum, what kind of things what kind of classes you've been taking, the grades you've been getting. We do look at your cumulative GPA from the time of 9th grade up until the time you apply, but we're also going to be taking particular attention to grades that you've been getting in your college prep courses. So not just electives. We are on the common application. We ask that you respond to one of the common app essay prompts. And then we also have 2 additional writing pieces that you can submit that will give us a chance to read more context of your application. We are test optional completely, so no need to submit those test scores. And then again, that honors college application is going to be a separate admissions piece. A separate essay piece. Our application is open now, so if seniors are tuning in, our application is open now. Our early action deadline is November 1st, and our regular deadline is February 1st. We're part of WUI. WUI is going to be competitive. Last year, about 10% of students from WUI states received WUI. If you are a student from a WUI state, you are automatically considered for WUI at the time of admissions. If you do not receive WUI, then we have something called the Provost Scholarship, which is the next level down. Any student with about a 3.0 or higher will probably receive something. WUI is going to be about $15,000 off of your total tuition. And then that next level down, Provost is going to be anywhere from about $2,000 to $12,000 off. So you'll get either one or the other. And then again, there's no application needed for those separate scholarships. You just are reviewed at the time of admissions. This is my email address and my phone number. Please feel free to jot that down. I do want to apologize again for the interruption. This is kind of just the life of virtual meetings right now. But if you have any additional questions, I'll also drop this information into the chat, but please feel free to reach out to me. Okay, thank you and go Beavs.
All right, thank you so much. So I would like to invite everyone to be back on the screen with me if possible for a quick Q&A. And so the first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? So we'll start with Southern Oregon University.
Sure. Yeah, I think the best piece of advice that I can give is visit all of the institutions that you think you might be interested in, and maybe even visit some that you aren't interested in to begin with. Because, I think you learn a lot from a college visit. And I think there's something to be said for actually being on the campus and being in the environment and seeing where you would be as a student, speaking with the folks who live in that area. So my biggest piece of advice is just, visit if you can. Of course, lots of us have really great virtual options right now in case you absolutely can't. But then if you also can't, feel free to reach out to an admissions counselor and ask, those questions about, what the campus is like and what the town is like and what that environment is like. So just, visit if you can. And then if not, just use your resources.
Thank you. What about you, Pacific University, Oregon?
So one thing I always like to give advice for students is don't focus on one word. So colleges have this really annoying habit where we will rename any major, any program, any scholarship we possibly can just so we all sound unique. And even when it's slightly different, it's still the same thing. So don't focus on one word like, okay, I read it in an article one time, that's what I'm going to major in, or that's what my folks majored in. Because even just within the 4 schools here, I can guarantee we all have some of the same majors and they all have a different name. So it can be as simple as just going online and saying, okay, I think I want to major in this. Google, what else is this major called? And you'll find a lot of really cool opportunities. And then you can go visit and do all these other wonderful things. But yeah, don't focus in on one word or you will miss out on a lot of schools that way.
What advice would you give Western Oregon University?
Yeah, so one of my things when I was going to school, I needed it to be free because I couldn't afford anything. So one of the advice that I always give to students is all of these schools, they're all offering all this money. If you get into all these schools, apply to every single one of our scholarships, because if you just, you're only going to one school, but it's no harm, no foul, but at least you have your options, right, of all this money being awarded. And then also, this is the one time you folks can copy and paste your essays. It's kind of like how Derek was saying. We're all pretty much asking the same thing, might be different words, might be different way, but you can utilize one really good personal statement and just edit it don't work harder, work smarter, okay? But that's my piece of advice to you folks.
All right, and then Oregon State University, what's your advice?
My advice would be to not focus too much on rankings and numbers and really just find the right fit for you. There are over 4,000 universities out there just in the United States alone, and many of them are unranked and don't make it into the big magazines and the name brand, stats and whatnot. So try not to focus on those. Try to focus what's a good fit for you and what really, that meshes with you.
Awesome. So our second question today is, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school? Southern Oregon University, you ready?
Yeah, just one thing. That's kind of hard. I guess for all of you, I would say automatic WUI. You don't have to have an application or any kind of GPA or financial need. Once you're admitted, you'll get it automatically, which is really great. It saves you about $13,000 a year compared to our out-of-state tuition. So I guess if I had to pick one, I'll say that for now.
Thank you. Pacific University, Oregon.
So I think if you're just going to remember one thing about Pacific, if you're looking for a school where you don't have to pick just one thing to do. So I don't have to just be an athlete, just be in choir, just study this one thing, but instead you want to mix and match like 6 different things, you're going to fit right in because that's all of our students here. And so we'd love for you to be able to come experience that.
Western Oregon University, you're up.
Yeah, for me, I guess when you think about Western, I just want you folks to remember our WUI program. It is automatic for all WUI students in WUI states. It is also stackable with the rest of your scholarships, and every major program is also falls under the WUI tuition. So you can be any major and it'll still be covered under that tuition rate, which is a really big discount.
Perfect, thank you. And then Oregon State.
Yeah, I would say that the biggest piece of advice that I would give, or not the advice, I'm sorry, the thing that I would want people to think about Oregon State or remember about Oregon State is our school spirit and just the environment that we offer to students. It's a huge university, lots of great things to offer, but we're in this really small little college town, so you really do get the best of both worlds.
Nice. So then our last question, and that's not counting the questions that we have in the Q&A, so there's still time to answer those. But what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process? I feel so sorry for picking on you first all the time, Southern Oregon, but
No, that's quite all right. One myth I'd like to debunk. I feel like there's some questions around like test optional. And so I feel like it might depend on the university, to be completely honest, but at least for Southern Oregon, when we say test optional, we fully mean test optional. And so if you have test scores, that's awesome, and we'll look at them holistically with the rest of your application, but you don't have to have them either. It's not going to hurt your application in any way, essentially. So figuring out the test optional piece, and I think that's a great movement that's kind of started recently, which is awesome. But yeah, test optional, really meaning test optional, hopefully for most schools.
What about you, Pacific? What's one thing you'd like to debunk?
So I think one thing I'd like to debunk is the fact that when you apply to colleges, don't wait until you have absolutely everything. It doesn't have to all come to us in like one envelope, one email, all at the same time. I run into students every single year who send in or who wait to send in their application because they're waiting for their letter of rec or their transcript, and then they miss out on scholarships. So honestly, students, as you get them, just hit submit. Okay, I've got my transcript. I'm just going to send that in. I got my application done. Because we as colleges have gotten at least enough tech savvy that if we're missing something, we're going to email you, or we'll have a portal you can go in and check on. So you'll know what's still missing, but that way you don't miss out on something because you were hoping to get everything all in on the same day.
Thank you. Western Oregon University, what's something you'd like to debunk?
One of the things is when people say, oh, but scholarship season is over. Scholarship season is every single season. There is always deadlines that come in January, February, March, all the way to December. There is always scholarships that you can apply for. And I always tell my students, for the amount of time you folks on TikTok and YouTube and watching all these videos and on Facebook, you folks can spend 20 minutes to search up a scholarship and apply to it. It's really, really that simple. Scholarship season is all year round.
Awesome. And Oregon State University, do you mind ending us with one thing you'd like to debunk about the college process?
Yeah, I think that sometimes students tend to think that they're just numbers and that people reading your applications or answering your emails are not real people, not real humans. We are, I promise you. And we've probably heard the same question that you are going to ask us, or the same problem you're having a million times over. So, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't think that you are just a number. We also know that you're a real human and you're a real person. So, yeah.
Great. So I want to thank you and thank you all for joining us today. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. You will be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/elk-grove. Thank you so much. Have a great one.